Yeah, this is the version 1.0. I actually have version 2.0, which maybe we should show.
Yes.
Um,
Cheater.
I think, sorry, but that is the second one. This is we've made some upgrades to this one that you can see here, and this is the version 2.0 of the HuddleCamHD SimpleTrack software.
Much
You
cleaner.
can see that I have two cameras. You can actually see four. I have two in this interface. But one of the best things about it, if I walk over to my computer, I'm doing this whole production myself, so I got to walk over to my computer in order to show this. But if we stop tracking on one of these and go into settings, the thing I like about this the most is you can see here that you have your tracking zone. So
Yeah.
the green box is tracking. You have in a lot of schools and areas, you want to have a blocking zone. So if there's a doorway that students are walking through, you can block that area so no tracking or
That's
motion
so
sets it off.
fantastic. Or for privacy concerns.
For privacy concerns, you can have it so that it doesn't ever go over in that area. Also, with this software, my favorite part is the tracking sensitivity and the pan speed. You might have noticed, Gary, I had it up pretty high, so it was following me quickly. But some people don't really want it to be so sensitive. They want the camera to be still unless there's a lot of movement. So there's a lot of functionality here for controlling the pan, the tilt, the speed. And something I don't want to talk about yet, Gary, because we don't have time, but this is the brand new preset zone features, which allow you to basically set an area of your space. If you wave your hand in front of it, you can do all kinds of things like start OBS to record, start the Epiphan Pearl to start to do a scene switch, because we support HTTP and TCP commands.
Now, this
so
is
a
one
lot
of
of
these
stuff
rabbit holes that Paul goes down with me, and then his company yells at him for talking about features that aren't quite there yet. So I'm going to put a halt on him because there's other goodness that's coming in this product too as it comes out. So while it's the Generation 2 product, it's really the first version of the second version of the software. But these products are just going to get better and better. You know, that's the one thing I love about you guys. You never stop tinkering. You never stop messing with stuff. And when you reach the limit of that hardware, you find a new generation of hardware that unlocks a whole other bunch of things you can tinker with. So I'm sorry to stop you there, Paul, but I knew where you were going, and I wasn't going to let you get in trouble.
Thank you, Gary. You got my best interest at heart. I know.
Cool. So before we get into the new controller, is there anything else you want to share with us about the SimpleTrack2 that you're allowed to talk about?
Well, it has we are able to talk about the TCP control, so don't worry. I'm not going to get in trouble about that yet. That's out there. But the SimpleTrack2 can zoom in up to 55 feet away. So it really is versatile in the sense that you can have it in a small space, you can have it in a big space. You can have it zoomed into a small space and just track in a small space, which we were showing earlier, or you can have it in a large church, really, up to 50 to 60 feet away. So we're really happy with it. It performs great. It does a combination of motion tracking and facial tracking. So if I turn around and my face isn't there, it's going to revert back to motion. So it's a really well thought out product, and I think people really love it.
SimpleTrack2 with all the latest software, when will that be officially released?
So the SimpleTrack2 is shipping, and that software I showed you is the most current software that's available today.
Awesome. So in stock and available. And now this is a big drum roll because I am so excited about I love the SimpleTrack, but I really love this next product. So I'm going on the table, and I'm sorry about that, but drum roll, please. Right here, baby. Here it is. The PTZOptics SuperJoy $8.99 joystick controller. This thing is incredible, and we're going to go through and show you some stuff because this thing is so so amazing that even a Gary can operate it. So I want to show you guys that we have already programmed in some presets and stuff for some of these puppies, and you're going to see some cameras start to move. Now, one of the things I'm really trying to show you here is that these cameras also have the advantage of, I can operate it this way. I can zoom in myself. I can come out. But as you can see, I'm operating all different cameras here. We've got And I'm going to put the preset on. I got to remember which one this was. There we go. There you go. As you can see in that upper corner, that's the new tech camera, which I believe is my camera 2. And I'm going to show you guys how to operate that one a little bit. So you can see it moving and going. Here we go. And I'm just, messing around here. I'm not a professional camera operator, but I did pretty good bring back to the spot. And I really love this. So this is working a PTZOptics camera. It's working a Bird Dog camera. It's working a new tech camera, all at the same time. It could be the same cameras. You can mix and match. If we had a Panasonic camera in here, it would be working in here too. This is an amazing product, Paul. Kudos to you guys at $8.99. I am just blown away. Now, what I do want to stress is I have barely touched the feature set of this thing. You can really go and get really sophisticated features and control, which also means it can get a little complicated to operate. So if you're in a volunteer situation, you may want to keep to one of the easier joysticks that are out there. But if you're really going to build out a studio or something where you really want to get to the next level, you guys have hit a home run. And I can't believe this product is under $1,000. When you first described this product to me, I thought it was going to be like $11.99 or $12.99. It's $8.99, and look at this feature set. So just, floor is yours, Paul. Tell us about this little marvel.
Well, there's certainly a lot of things that you don't find in our other joysticks. And speaking of volunteers, there is a basic mode. So when you click basic mode, all the advanced features are disabled. And so basic mode is great. There's also another mode called matrix mode, which, again, listening to the customers, what we found out is that they want just a simple way to control a few presets with 2 or 3 cameras. And
cool,
so
and I pulled it in here. So
here
basic mode, matrix mode. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, and I hate to do this to you, but I brought this up here. But there's some controls here that I'm super excited about. So right over here, I've got a bank where I can control my tilt speed up and down, my pan speed up and down, my zoom speed up and down, my focus up and down, my presets. This is amazing to me. Now, I know this is going to work great with your cameras. Is this the kind of feature that can work with other people's cameras as well? And even with your cameras, just the ability to adjust the speed of the zoom as an example. Maybe I want to come in slowly, or sometimes I want to do a fast tilt, but I really want that pan to be more, liquid and smooth. And I just love that this controller has those features. And for that reason alone, I would only use this one, because I find with the PTZ cameras, it's always, like I'm a little Goldilocks. It's always too fast, too slow, never just right. And now I can make it just right. And for each program, just right might be a little different. So when I have a big church service on a Sunday, it might be a little different than what I use for a wedding, where I do want to do that slow pan with the bride. So just great job on this. Sorry, throwing it back to you. Talk about the features you love in this thing.
Well, first of all, there's a lot of buttons on here, but they're all, needed to become a PTZ camera operator. But I think that it's intuitive enough. The section that you're talking about the speeds, you can control the tilt, the pan, the zoom. I'll give you a great example of using the tilt and the pan speeds. When you're tracking somebody on a stage, you just need to follow them left and right. I mean, they're not jumping up and down. So you have the ability to turn the tilt speed down to almost 0, and then there's 0 error of actually accidentally, going off target. So you can really nail down what you want your pan speed to be. You can reduce the tilt speed completely. One thing people like a lot is the zoom speed, and making sure they want it nice and slow or they want it quick. We even have a speed for between presets, Gary. And that includes the new motion sync feature, which will allow you to sync up pan, tilt, and zoom to all end at the same time, which makes these beautiful sweeping shots. A lot of our customers...
And I can adjust the speed on that. Now, that's a feature only with your cameras, because I know even that ability to adjust on that is something you guys just added recently in your latest firmware updates.
That's true. So to answer your earlier question, this joystick is made for PTZOptics cameras. We have built in support for Sony, which is really the industry-wide standard. So that works for Bird Dog, that works for New Tech, that works for obviously Sony, and many others in the industry. So I'd say you about a 90% chance this is going to work for everything, including NDI cameras. So this supports NDI, so any NDI camera will work for as well.
Awesome. Now, I know NDI is one of those things that it will work, and it will only work better over time, because we know NDI is, you're not going to hold up a product like this to get every little NDI nuance perfect. But NDI is one of those things that I fully expect maybe in a month or two to see a big firmware update with really unlocking, you know, the NDI capabilities of this joystick. One of the things I want to comment on is I love the actual feel of this. You know, one of the first things I like to say is this is a tactile device. So I want to feel my buttons when I hit them. I want to know they really went. I want to know when I'm adjusting a camera, I feel it. It works with the way I am as the operator, that I can, you know, let's be honest. The idea of this whole thing is I'm supposed to emulate what a actual cameraman would be doing. So, you know, I need to get that to be just right for me on the way I want to do it. If I want to zoom in fast or slow, it's got a nice little touch to it. I just think you guys have just done a great job with this. And once again, I'm just fooling around. If I wanted to sit down with this thing for probably a half hour, 45 minutes, I think I could control 3 or 4 cameras as if I was a camera person in the room, especially if they were your cameras. I could take advantage of some of that secret sauce.
That's true. And we talked about the basic mode. We talked about the matrix mode. The coolest, most exciting mode for the geeks out there are the custom buttons, which you can use to switch OBS, to switch vMix, to switch a TriCaster, to start recording on an Epiphan Pearl. There's 4 custom buttons, and I think I have a shot I can cut to show this a little closer. There was something I wanted to show as well.
Cool.
Here. But this is my SuperJoy here.
Yeah.
And I also have it controlling an ePTZ camera. So Gary, you wanted me to show this during the show because this camera is one of the PTZOptics cameras that does not have physical pan tilt zoom. It has digital pan tilt zoom.
Yeah.
But this controller has no problem controlling this just like a PTZ camera. So this is one of those cool things where you can have this camera has a 5-year warranty. It's only $499, and it gives you the feel of a PTZ camera operation.
Now, Paul, I want to add something. With an ePTZ camera with presets, it actually looks like I'm cutting from camera to camera shot, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go ahead and try that. Let's see. So we got set a preset there. Go ahead and set one more, and we'll try that. You're way ahead of me, Gary. I haven't even tried. Yep, see that? Boom, boom.
So I love this concept to think about, you know, if you want to make a performance space, you know, and I can use a ePTZ camera and a controller, and I can just have complicated this controller or a simple controller, and I can have a few program presets, and I can just cut a whole show, and it looks like cutting, which gives an illusion that there's multiple cameras in the room. So that's my little ePTZ hack. So you could say, Paul, you learned a tip from me today on the show.
I really like it. Now, there was one other thing I wanted to show, Gary, because these custom buttons also have something called the Super Preset. And what the Super Preset does is it allows you to control up to 7 cameras at the same time, plus do a scene switch. So I just wanted to show this quickly.
What you're talking about, Willis?
We love it, and here's why. If I click one button, all 4 of those cameras move. So the way we're using this, Gary, is you can see I have 3 sets.
Right.
So when I do a set change, move all the PTZ cameras to the new set.
What I like about that is oftentimes when you're doing a show, like let's say you're a house of worship, everyone comes in, someone touches something. If I can hit a button and get everything back to the way I want every show to begin, that alone now made this so volunteer friendly. And that's one of those things, it's like, you know, every single product like this should come with it. I knew you guys would think of something like this, and kudos to you on that, because like you said, maybe I have, you know, our studio right now it's the virtual studio, but we're in the process of actually putting in over there, which I won't show you, but I could with one of these cameras, we're going to put in a real studio with like some bookshelves, some knickknacks, some stuff like that. So we would actually have 2 different setups. So I'd love to say, okay, we're going to do a show from this one. One of my main concerns with the guys was it was going to take us 30 minutes to reposition all the cameras and the lights. That I know I could just hit a button and get to those presets for that show as the basic starting point. Now I could possibly do 2 different shows in the same day, which I would never try to do if one was practical and one was virtual. So just once again, you guys, you listen to your customers. That's the bottom line. And Paul, I know you're a user. Let's go off course a little bit, because while these products work with all these products out there, you participate in so many different forums and you run these different virtual meetings, conferences and stuff like that. And people think that you just do it to get the word out there, but I think it's the best market research on the planet.
I agree completely, and it's a lot about market research, Gary. In fact, I didn't get to tell you that I did just finish the unofficial guide to Wirecast. So I've been hoping to get you a couple copies of this. Very excited about it. But you learn about these things, and customers know about it, or they want it, and that's the best thing, Gary, for any business, is to start live streaming, start making videos, and then listen to the comments. And your customers will tell you what they want to see next. They'll give you your next great idea. That's the amazing part about social media, in my opinion.
So Paul, you kicked this off great, and this is we did a great show on two great products, and we actually stuck to like the time frame I like to stick with. So now I'm going to go over, because we're going to talk about stuff, and I really want to talk about how live streaming can help you build your brand no matter what you're in. I mean, it's great. You and I have built our live streaming brands using live streaming, so we're a perfect example of how you could do it. But if you had a local retail shop, or maybe you're a law firm or a dojo, live streaming is such an easy way for you to connect with your audience. And the thing that I keep telling people, it comes across as so much more authentic. And with the tools you guys have that make it easier to be more authentic, that just means you could spend more time relating to your audience, having them relate to you, and telling the stories and fixing the problems that they can identify with, that they'll then associate you or your products with, that then help you grow your business.
That's exactly right. And I mean, the analogy I use with a lot of houses of worship applies to any business, which is people are not wanting to walk into just a random church, right? They've never seen it before. They don't know what's going on in there, but they're definitely willing to see, on Facebook what's going on, and they take a peek at it. Then they're starting to see inside the church, and then the wheels are starting to turn. Maybe my wife and I might want to go into this church. It's the same thing for any business. Who are these people in this business? What do they sell? Show the world. And then once you get it, once you start getting that customer, you start getting those sales, you start seeing those comments, it just keeps growing, which is the great part. And I believe any business can do it. The problem, Gary, is that it's not necessarily easy to get a big following right away. You got to be committed. You need to look professional, and you need to get started yesterday. But once you do get 1,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, you get that ball rolling, the rewards are incredible.
And if you're a house of worship, if you have 100 people tuning in outside the service, but people still come to the service, I think one of the things that a lot of houses of worship feared live streaming, because they thought that would have less people come to the church. But I think what we've really learned is it makes it more convenient to people connect with the church and with each other, and everyone still wants to be together, but you can't do it every Sunday necessarily. So you can still be apart, and you can do it from home. And if you've got young kids, well, it's a lot easier to sit down in the living room and watch a service in your pajamas than getting everyone dressed up in their Sunday best and heading out to church, which you still want to do, but you can't be there every time. And I think people need to look at live streaming as an extension of their brand, not a competitor to what they're doing. So even if you're a performing arts center, maybe you're a bar that's got a stage and you've been hammered by this whole epidemic, you haven't been able to open up. Well, think about opening up. Just have some performers in your stage and live streaming it to build your brand and build your awareness. So when the world comes back, people think of you as a really great venue to see live music. And it's not expensive to do. The gear's not that expensive. Nothing we looked at here is a break the bank thing. I know it's not free, but the most amazing thing about it, and this is the thing I stress all the time, is it doesn't happen by magic. Even with the best money thrown at gear, you still got to practice. The people on stage have to practice. The people producing the show have to practice. So I always say the fourth time's a charm. Your first 2 or 3 shows, there's going to be some issues. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to mess up a lot. But by the 4th show, you can get pretty good. And then when you add a new thing like a new controller, well, the first show you use it, you're probably going to mess up and screw some stuff up. The second time you'll get a little better. By the 4th show, you'll be a rock star again. So the key to live streaming, Paul said, start yesterday. Keep doing it. Be consistent. At first, you may want to try different times to see what times work better. But once you find a time slot and a day that works for your program, be there, do it consistently, and let people find you, because people are distracted. People can find stuff anywhere. So if they kind of know to look for it, you got a chance at getting some traction.
I agree. It's easier than becoming an expert video editor and vlogger. Just go ahead, get a camera, live stream, be authentic, and be consistent, and it works.
And I do think one of the things is that it's one thing to stream, you know, on your phone and stuff like that, and it looks exactly like it is. When you show you've put a little more effort into your show with some more video quality, some more production quality, I think people relate to that immensely. And I think they love the fact that it's still live. They don't expect it to be so polished and stuff like that. But I will tell you right now, our show today, I'll put it up against any network newscast you're going to watch at 11 o'clock with remote guests coming in, because I guarantee we looked better, we had better sets, our audio is better, there was no talking heads, we never went blurry, and I know I just jinxed my next live program. But Paul, once again, I love having you on the show because the content is so rich and great, but we also I think we upped our level this game. I think this show, we really showed off the technology. We used the technology to show off the technology we're talking about for the show. So what could be better than that, Paul?
You guys are doing a great job over there, Gary. I love that you're building a new set, because that's going to open up new opportunities. You're going to be able to show people. I mean, you look great. But, you know, I can't wait to see what you do in your next set, because a real set has a lot of different opportunities, pros and cons with the virtual set. So you're going to be able to do both. That's a great opportunity.
Cool. We want to mix it up. So I'm going to say thank you, Paul, for being on the show. And we're going to say goodbye to you. And we'll have you on another one, because you're one of our favorite guests to have. And Stream Geeks, is there any particular events or anything you want to tell people about before I let you go? Because you're such a social media diva.
Well, you know, we're doing this Friday. We're going to bring back our Stream Geek show. So keep an eye out for that. We have a big show on how to connect Zoom and OBS. We posted a video on that, Gary, about a couple months ago. It's got over 1 million views. Woo! It's a big deal. People want to know how to add more production to their Zoom meetings.
Yep.
So that's what we're focusing on. We're going to be answering questions. So that's this Friday on the Stream Geeks channel. Next Friday is all about the SuperJoy. So if that's a product you're interested in, we're going to be digging into how to use it with the Epiphan Pearl, how to use it with vMix, how to use it with OBS.
Awesome.
Subscribe to our channels and you'll learn a lot, I'm sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. And now I'm going to tell everyone about the shows that we have coming up. Oh, I went the wrong way, as I usually do. You mentioned the Pearl. Next week, we're going to do a show on the Pearl family. The Pearl Nano should be shipping. We should have it in stock. We're going to talk about the Pearl Nano, the Pearl Mini, the Pearl 2. We're not just going to talk about the differences of the products, but we're also going to talk about some enterprise level workflows you can get into with multiple Pearl Nanos, Pearl Minis, and Pearl 2s in SRT and all that other good stuff. So that's going to be a really good show. And then on March 9th, we're going to have Ask the Video Guys, and I think we're going to concentrate on that show on education. We have some ideas to show some teachers how we can do some things better. We're going to talk about how you can make a cart that could be a Zoom teaching cart that you can bring into different rooms if you want, with a camera and a machine. We're also going to talk about some of the other ideas we have for those schools who are putting budgets together, who want to have the ability to do remote learning next year, but have it be a little bit better, easier on the teachers, and more satisfying and engaging for the kids. So Ask the Video Guys education version coming up March 9th. Next week, we have the Epiphan Pearl family. Today's show, all about the HuddleCam SimpleTrack2 and the PTZOptics SuperJoy controller. I think this is a great show today. Adam, you knocked it out of the park. We had some great demos. We had Paul Richards on from Stream Geeks and from PTZOptics HuddleCam. Loved it. Great show. Here come the plugs, folks. You know, watch us on Facebook Live. Watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please share our videos with your friends. Help share the love. Like us, love us, share us. This is Gary from Video Guys. We'll see you next week, 3 o'clock for Video Guys Live. Peace.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.